perfect choices, and that's exactly what we saw out of Soulkey. Game 3 is getting started, and with that skill, Soulkey now leads 2-0. If he wins one of the next 3 games, he's through. Oz needs to win all of the next 3 games to keep his hopes alive.
It's going to be tough. Polar Knights will be our map of choice. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into game number 3, Oz versus Soulkey.
Spawning in the top left-hand position, trying desperately to keep his hope for BlizzCon alive. Can he do it? Evo Geniuses, Oz! And in the bottom corner, rain or shine, roach or muta, broodlord or infestor, Soulkey knows it all. If you'd like to see him advance through, give a cheer for Woong Jin Star Soulkey!
And again, I'm so impressed with Soulkey from these last games. We see a very big paradigm shift from his match against MC to now. He is committed, he is ready for this upcoming PVZ. And I think if he's up against another Protoss in the finals, that's going to be a very easy win for him, but we'll find out a little bit later.
You know, Oz's late game judgment seems strongest in PvP by a huge margin. It's way his best matchup. And against Terran and Zerg, Oz has brilliant builds. He's always had the most brilliant builds. And they get him early leads. They help put him on, put his opponent on the back foot. But then Oz generally fails to follow through with it. And the follow through is what has hurt Oz twice in a row. Yeah, Nexus goes down, I like it.
It's interesting too because I was really confused about the 80 probes last game. I mean, he really loves his economy. We've seen that time and time again. But you know, going that high of a probe count, you trail off quite a bit. And I feel like his end game is weaker because of that. Yes, you can approach an end game army and approach that 200-200 army a little bit faster. But if he's not trading out his probes earlier, then he's actually hurting himself for that big fight. And that's why we never really saw him at a 200-200. He was a lot better at those trades, but he failed to get those key money units out, which are the High Templars in conjunction with the Tempests, so he can get a Storm a little bit faster. I think it would have been a lot more efficient if he would just get to that late game tech faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what the right choice is for Oz on Derelict Watcher. I mean, part of me wants to say, come on, Oz, build more gateways, drill in there. Don't try to be cute and answer as Broodlords. This is the most open map in the map pool. Storm the front, out-aggress your opponent 4 base to 3. But Oz, again, in those late game spots, falls on his back foot. Begins to try to prepare a defense when he should be preparing an offense. How can the Zergling not fit through there?
It looks so big. Actually, this entrance can be 3 bunker blocked, and your opponent can't do anything about it. That's how actually tight this is.
Huh, wow. Well, Oz is going to exploit that formation to get a very, very nice protective ridge here, doing these backup wall-offs. If for some reason Zerglings get through, he can re-wall on either side, throw down more buildings on either side. Soulkey getting up his fast 3 bases. Soulkey never afraid of playing in standard fashion.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if it didn't, if it worked the last 2 games, he might as well not change anything. Although I would love to see some sort of switch up, some all-in, just to mess with Oz, even if it goes past into game 4, game 5. At least you have this scare in your opponent, you know, and maybe you just get the quick win.
Yeah, I mean, really potent big base cheeses, I think, are fantastic when you're ahead. Doing something like a 6 pool, I think, is just really, really weak. You don't want to do too easy and too predictable of a cheese, because pretty much every pro has all those answers already in mind with their openings. But Soulkey here looks like he is just going standard as standard can be. Hidden Robo means that Oz is probably leaning a little bit more towards something like a Warp Prism.
Warp Prism, it could be the Mortal All-In. There are a couple of good spots, and if we look in Oz's vision real quick, he has spotted the 3rd base over in the mid left-hand position. There are 2 major places that you can get as a 3rd. And I think he says, oh, well, if you're going to expand over there, I'm going to attack in that narrow little choke where the Overlord is in the mid left-hand corner. He's going to be able to attack down this line, and it's very hard for Zerg to engage against this because force fields are really nice. You can use the assimilator, or not the assimilator, the Vespian gas as one of your kind of walls in your attack.
That's a great read, Andre. We're seeing the Chrono Boosted Immortal coming up right away. Gateway's beginning to go down for Oz, but as good as this angle is over at the far left, I mean, what scares me is the counterattacks. It's so easy to just waltz right up into that widespread front. There's no ramp that we can see Oz easily defend with.
Look at this variation, though. This is such a cool variation. It's 3 gas instead of the regular 4 gas. Very interesting. He's going to get a lot more minerals. It's going to hit a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And right now, if I'm Soulkey, I'm actually thinking this is going to be a Sentry expand into
100%,
well,
yeah.
a Sentry drop expand, because there's no, well, even that, it's a little bit weaker. You're expecting that 4th gas. I don't know. If I'm Soulkey, I'm really, really confused.
Yeah, Soulkey is, he's throwing down up to 4 gas right now. So he's saying, all right, you're doing something a little cute, but not huge. So that means I need to begin teching up so I can answer what your follow-up is. But there is no follow-up. Yeah, it's just this huge gateway push. God, how many gateways does this guy have? 8. That is a very juicy number of gates. And this is coming out at 8:30.
Wow, look at that pylon positioning, though. He's not going to that mid-left-hand corner. He's going to the bottom right. Very interesting choice. I have to say, it's going to be a lot harder to actually pull off this attack.
Soulkey is confused. He does not know what is going on. He sees this push moving down, and this is great movement by Oz. He's going to cut left, likely cut down after he gets all the way to the left. At the front of the base, walled in. Pylon already preemptively back 1 step. And maybe Oz actually does want to go for this and was just leaving his options open. We see a Hydralisk Den answer coming out for Soulkey. Speed for Roaches nowhere near completion. What a fast push from Oz.
Normally you're over at your opponent's base by 10 minutes. This is coming at 9:30, a full 30 seconds faster. You can see the effects of that later gas right now. And he's getting positioned a lot faster. Makes a lot of sense, because if you wait this long, you might be in a lot of trouble just crossing the map. But Spine Crawler's in great position. Look at the Roaches and Zerglings. Soulkey, it almost looks like he has this shut down already.
Well, there's 9 Hydras en route. The time to strike is now. He needs to get the Immortals to the front. He doesn't want the Spines picking away at the sentries. Oz needs to go, and there's the moment. Can he get it the good angle? The Spine Crawlers have taken hardly any damage. The position is very weak for Oz right now. Now he's starting to get the angle. Where are the Zealot reinforcements? Soulkey is doing a clinic on defending this all-in.
Yeah, it's perfect. The Spine Crawlers are so beautiful, and now it just looks like the army is so feeble. Although nice force fields do cut off a lot of Roaches, Oz looks like he's going to be okay here, but he doesn't have a lot of force fields. Drone now being
there's the
pulled.
drones moving in. He sees that there's almost no energy left on those sentries, so that means the drones can easily get in, tank tons of damage, but Zealot Warpins continue, acting as replacement force fields. More units getting trapped. Can Oz Chrono Boost his way and get enough units out? The 3 Immortals have still stayed strong. They are such powerful units. +1 done for Protoss. He's ripping down the Ling lines, but Soulkey defends.
A beautiful hold so far. 2 Spine Crawlers still healthy. Income tab showing 55 Harshers to 45. So he still needs to keep going. He still needs to do more damage. Chrono Boost going down on all of the gateways. And things are looking very tough for Oz. Will he reapproach this attack? I don't mind that at all, because the Spine Crawlers really complicate so much.
Spine Crawlers beautifully placed, but Oz wants to swing back around, as you say. Overlord's going down. This is going to be a very long, slow push. Zergling speed is not done. It's actually half out at this point in time. Oz is committed. He can't change his plan now.
This is good. This is good. He's going to wrap around, go into the natural, I believe. The Zergling is going to see this coming, though. But the pylon is already placed, and that's a very nice pylon to have. The reinforcement's so high up there.
He's got to get up there fast. Soulkey's moving to intercept. Oz has a lot of funds. Throws down Stalkers, much beefier, stronger units, much more well-equipped to fight this. But the Concave is glorious for Soulkey. I don't even know how much those force fields are going to help. There's Hydralisks on the backside, annihilating the Zealots that move into the front. 103 to 140.
Done a lot of good damage. The sentries are now going down, and here's the real meat. Oz trying to warp in more units desperately, but there's just too many units. Is Soulkey going to do it right here? Will he clean it up 3-0? Now finally pushing back the Immortals.
Unbelievable micromanagement from Oz. Queen's at the front lines, but there's no more units. There's nothing.
No!
Oh, and he loses the present. GG!
Soulkey will advance, knocking Oz out of WCS Season 3 Finals.
Soulkey keeping his hopes alive in this tournament with a clean 3-0 sweep. Oz will not be able to qualify for BlizzCon. Soulkey keeping the Zerg hope in the